Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the silly stuff you see out there in training that people try to pretend that's hardcore, right? Training in such a way, specifically in manner that makes you sore, right? Specifically in ways that make you sore, all this continually training to failure, forced reps, everything else. They want to pretend like it's hardcore, but here's the thing. That's not hardcore. Doing stupid shit, doing ignorant ass, stupid ass shit doesn't make you hardcore, right? Getting strong makes you hardcore. Getting big makes you hardcore. I mean, if we even want to apply that term at all. I mean, really, it's kind of a silly term to something like lifting. Why do we lift? We lift to be healthier, more fit, athletic, to reach our goals, right? It's goal oriented, not really about being hardcore. Because here's what I would say. You need to be looking at what the best in the world do in terms of athletes and coaches and everything else. And does anyone honestly think that all the best athletes in the world in a wide variety of endeavors, even that need strength and muscle and everything else, you think that the best coaches have them training to failure all the time? Do you think that they have them missing lifts all the time? Do you think that they have them doing stuff that makes them so sore that they can't do the other stuff they need to get done? No. Well, if that's how the best in the world, the champions, don't train, then why would you do this silly ass shit? Because some brain dead bodybuilder told you to do it? Some guy who's just a genetic freak who uses $30,000 worth of drugs every year and probably doesn't have two brain cells to rub together told you to do it? Because Ronnie Coleman did it, right? Some other ignoramus, Phil Heath. Come on. Look at what even, if you look at that debate the other day with Mike Israetel and Lyle McDonald, they even pointed out, no, you shouldn't even be training to failure every workout. There shouldn't be training to failure. Very often, training to failure has its uses, it has its places, but even for maximum hypertrophy. And these are some of the foremost experts in the world. And these are both people who coach elite level athletes, by the way. So before someone says, oh, they're just a couple of egghead guys, they coach elite athletes. They both coach people at the world level. And they're telling you that even in the pursuit of maximum size, you shouldn't even be training to failure that often. Certainly not all the time. So if these are some of the best out there, and these are people who are coaching elite athletes who themselves have degrees in the field and their own competitive endeavors. So if they're telling you not to do it, why in the world would you do it? Why? All you do is get injured. All you do is interfere with your training. Same thing with anything that makes you sore. Everything is about fatigue management. Everything is fatigue management. Because when you are actually training hard and you are training near your limits, you know what? Motivation starts to become a very, very serious factor. Right? And any dumbass who tells you, well, you just have to push through and you have to have willpower, they don't have a game plan. Right? I can tell you right now that any dumb shit who tells you that, they're not going to be a successful coach. I can tell you right now, the person telling you that's not putting people at the world level in any sport. They don't have any athletes at the elite level. You know why? Because training adherence, just like diet adherence and everything else, is critical. If your training is making you so sore that you can't function, that affects your quality of life. You know that affects your recovery itself? People need to grasp that. Psychological factors associated with your training affect your consistency. If you're doing things that make you hurt or fatigued all the time, you're less likely to keep training hard. You're going to eventually program yourself to say it's not worth doing it. And what you see all this super hard stuff that all these kids do. These are silly ass, weak ass kids who are going to stop training after a year. They're going to get tired of it because they're going to get tired of being beat up. So you see all your gym buddies and your bros maybe doing this stuff, teaching you to do forced reps, right? Oh, one more rep, even when you've clearly hit failure. You couldn't even lock the weight yourself anymore. Right? All this does is get you hurt, make you sore. Missing lifts reduce your confidence. Let's talk about consistency right there. Coming to the gym and getting pinned, you think that's the best way to maintain a strong, confident, aggressive mindset in the gym? Getting your ass kicked by the barbell? No. You know what's going to give you the right mindset? When you come in and you crush the weight every time. When you make every single rep and every single attempt that you planned on hitting that day, and you hit all of them, and the barbell never beats you, that boosts your confidence. That boosts your drive. That boosts your motivation. That improves your aggressiveness. In fact, losing anything, if you're not pinning anything, actually makes your testosterone levels go down. Did you know that losing a checker match will actually make your testosterone levels go down? So what do you think losing to a barbell does to you? What do you think that does to your motivation? No, we need to be going to the gym and be hitting lifts that we know we can hit. We need to have this stuff planned. When we know form is starting to break down on something, we don't go any further. We don't keep ramping up a max when we can assess the bar speed and say, okay, that was strong, that was confident, that was fast, that was my training max for the day, I'm good. Right, I got that 275 bench or that 315 bench. I got that 405 squat. That was good and strong. That was what I needed to get today. You don't keep ramping till you fail. And if you do, that's going to affect your confidence. That's going to affect your aggressiveness. That's going to affect your consistency next time. And it's going to interfere with your recovery when you start missing lifts, whether it's from a failed max or it's because you hit a big lift to failure, or you did forced reps. That affects your recovery, that affects your motivation. And if it makes you sore, that creates extra psychological stress. All right, psychological stress as a result of training impacts recovery. Every single coach knows this. So if you're coming into the gym and you're sucking and you're failing stuff, guess what? That's going to have negative psychological effects, which will interfere with your recovery. It'll elevate cortisol levels afterwards. If you're sore from training and you're too fatigued from training, do you know that that adds a psychological effect that will affect your recovery? And if you're recovering slower due to extraneous circumstances, because you're not confident, you're not feeling good, you're not feeling strong, guess what? You will not be able to train as often. And if you can't train as often because you can't recover, you're going to make less gains. You're going to make less gains. And anyone who says, I don't know, man, you can't just be a pussy, you can't worry about being sore. Yeah, I can tell you right now, that's someone who's either pinning a lot of drugs for motivation. That's a person who needs stems to make it through their workout. That's the people who need a pre-workout. I mean, again, that's someone who already is, they might pretend like they have that mentality, but then that's the same guy who needs drugs to help him even make it through a normal session. He can't hit a max deadlift without a drug. I mean, that's some pussy shit. I mean, that's some pussy shit right there. But back to the point of that, that's also bad training. That's bad programming. But that's the truth of it. If you're training in a way that makes you sore, you're less likely to train. Look at all the leg day memes. How many guys dread the silly leg day, right? Which you shouldn't even have a leg day. You should be squatting at least twice a week. These guys have a leg day and then they get sore. And then they dread the next leg day. Well, do you think that's allowing them to train with their maximum effectiveness because they're now dreading it? The two factors we need to be looking at with training are confidence, and recovery, right? That's everything. That's one reason I have novice lifters also do the 10% weight resets when the weights start getting grindier, they start getting close to missing reps. Why? Because I want them to come in on their next workout and I want them to crush it. I want that bar to explode. I want them to dominate those weights the next time. That is going to boost their confidence. That's going to make them consistent. It's also going to make them less sore, and it's going to make them less injury prone. And if you're less sore, you're going to recover faster because you don't have the extra psychological fatigue. You're also going to have a better mood next time you come in and train. Right? Every time you come to the gym, you need to be successful. You need to be smashing your weights. You need to be confident. You need to be minimizing things like negative psychological factors, psychological fatigue, all of these things. because your training should be making you more confident, and you need to be confident every time you walk into the weight room. Every single time. All right, if you want to improve and you want to do your best, that's what you need to do. And your training needs to reflect that, because those psychological factors matter not only for your motivation in the gym, they will actually affect your recovery between sessions. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.